I went to the hospital and I said, look, I'm not in pain. I don't know. I'm not necessarily anxious, but something is not quite right. And I'd like to be checked. You know, when you say I'm not having contractions, no. You know, my attention seeker, I don't know. They finally said, here's a gown. We'll check you out. And so I went into the examination room and put the gown on. And I'd only been in there under 5 minutes when I noticed drops of blood on the floor. And then it was more than that. In fact, you know, shock alert here, but if you've ever seen The Shining and when the elevator door opens and this rush of blood comes out, that it was like buckets dropping. It was what had happened, and I'll tell you now because sometimes I forget to mention that it was my placenta, which is a filter between mother and baby and regulates the baby, feeds the baby, all of that good stuff. It's necessary in a pregnancy. Mine had been filling up with blood, and it had gotten bigger and tighter and firmer, full of blood. And for whatever reason, it was not exiting. And so each pump of blood into it, it just got tauter and tauter until it exploded. And thank God I'd followed my instinct to be at the hospital when this happened. Within minutes, an intern was found, and he proclaimed, this lady's got 2 minutes of life left. This is how fast things changed for me, my life, my family, everything. They basically pushed me down on a gurney, and they could not get a heartbeat on my baby. And very distressing for, you know, a young mother to hear these things. And my concern was, please save my baby. And they basically brought in a scalpel to the examination room. Again, no time for operating room or anesthesia or oxygen or, you know, a warm blanket. Even an aspirin was out of the question. They held down my arms and legs and proceeded to cut my baby out. Gory, awful, terrible. The non-pain that I had been in earlier was gone now. It was so bad. It was so painful. And between this horrible room of blood and gore, they had to move my organs out of the way to get to the baby. And at one point, as I was being held down, and the only thing that part of me that I could move was that writhing of my head back and forth. That was the only thing I could do. And as I was going back and forth, I looked and noticed that a nurse was actually wrapping this gray rope around her arm. And the pain was so bad, realizing it was my intestines was pretty darn dire. And I just got to a point when they lifted that little lifeless body from me, just everything added up to, you know, I'm out of here. And what I wanted to express too was, you know, the dying process, you know, that's no fun, definitely. But for those of you who are afraid of death, the actual death, that movement between this earth life and into that unknown, I just like to offer that it is not a big deal. It really was familiar, like I have done this before, like it was muscle memory to float. I was going through walls in the hospital. I was really kind of having a good time at first. After I had, you know, just checked out the body, checked out the room and went. And my body, let me add here, I mean, I was still me. I was still Claudia. Everything up here, my memories, my thoughts, my personality was intact. The only thing that I had left behind was this shell, this outer shell, my overalls, my work outfit for Earth. It was like I didn't need it anymore. And so I shed it and I was free. And I explored the hospital. I won't tell you all of the shenanigans, but I ended up in a gentleman's room and kind of doing a, you know, thing in front of him, and he didn't know I was there. And that's when I realized I was dead. It was so natural before, that I honestly had not had that thought come through my head that, oh my goodness, I'm dead. So as soon as I thought that, I was in this another place, another dimension, that it was instantaneous, and I was in this vastness. It's really hard to describe. Earth words are really limited, and which is one of the problems I had about talking about my NDE, because I was in this amazing place that was everything and nothing all at the same time. And it was in complete and total darkness. It was black. It was, if I'd had a hand, I wouldn't have been able to see it in front of my face. But it wasn't scary. It wasn't unnatural. It wasn't negative. It was absolutely perfect. I was so loved. I was so held and comforted and cradled within this alive, intelligent. It knew everything about me. And it just swaddled me like a loved child. And I was completely satisfied to be in this place. It wasn't long before I started to hear being called back to earth. This was, of the other side, this is what my immediate experience gave me, was a perfect place of total darkness.